everybody, my name is Farmer Phil and today we are going fencing and letting out cattle, and we're here with Sam, a cousin that lives that's over for the week. So you're on a working holiday, is that
working holiday, yeah.
Working holiday. So we're just having the red clover. You can see lovely pile of red clover in it. So our plan is to let this go on for silage. We're not going to graze this, but we just have to check if the fence is good around it and then move on out and do the fences out here. So I think our fence is somewhere over here. We have to turn it off and then go figure out our fencing somewhere along here. Yeah, no, this is a good one. Where is it? Somewhere along this edge. So we're just trying to get the fence all stood back up. Forgot the machete, so the pigtail, next best thing. Okay, get that rebet and then just finish it off and we'll have the first field done. Moving on to the next field, so this is where we'll be putting the cattle we'll be going out onto. Plan is to keep that side up for silage and then cattle start grazing this way and then working down that way their side, the hedge onto paddocks. That's the plan. So we're just checking that this fence is up. That's a dodgy looking stake. I do something about that. But yeah, getting on there, not too bad now. Should have cattle out after dinner. That'd be the plan. We're just rolling up a second wire that was basically in the grass, it's not needed. So we're using our easy reeler. So Sam's going to roll and I'm going to unhook it. So if you just make sure it stays up, it doesn't get caught in the wire, I'll go make sure it's unhooked off everything. Easy reeler makes light work of gathering up that soft tie and wire. Anything that's in a roll needs to be rolled. Fierce handy job. You can see we have pipe in there to go try and move a drinker or two out here while we're out here, just so we can make better use of paddocks out here. It's just getting real dirty rain now at the minute. So just have this field fenced. This is where the calves are going, or yearlings, weanlings, whatever you want to call them, the bulls. I suppose we call them the bulls now. This next year's killing is going. So there's a nice whack of grass there. Should do them quite some time. And I think we'll go with 30 to start off. Just keep feet light on the ground and then build them up to 45, 46 later. But anyways, time to go turn on the fence and we see whether we've power. So now we are back in the yard. Liv is here, ready to go get cattle out. So we've got all the weanlings out. There is, I think, 110 down there. We have been doing quite a lot of cattle work this wet weather, as the yard, as you can see, isn't very clean. Once we get today's work done, then we'll give the yard a good clean down, to get most of the cattle work done, and then we can give the place a good clean, because then we won't be dirtying it again as quick. So what we will be doing, because these lads have been out on the rape all winter, we'll be giving them a dose that will kill immature fluke, and we'll also be giving them a worm dose, as our vet said they need to be done. Liv also has clippers that we've got half stickers on it. Country Farm Supplies, so they sent us up a few goodies there, and the clippers is one of them. It's a super job that we used it last day. So we're just clipping any muck off their tails. The cattle are quite a bit on the dirty side, but that's one of the downsides of being out on the forage rape all winter. There's just, any time it got wet when they're out there, it was a bit mucky, and because they're all bulls, they ride each other and they just spread muck across themselves, and it's very hard. They get bedded every evening, every night, but even at that, it's impossible to keep them clean when they're in and out of the shed. Anyways, we'll take 2 batches of 30 out, and we'll run all our batches up to about 45 in a couple of weeks time. When ground dries up a little bit, our silage pit is just about empty. We have a good bit of hay there, which we've been feeding them on the last couple of days, and whoever's left in, we'll keep them fed. So anyways, I stick the camera on time lapse and we go blitz through some of this. Also, this video is sponsored by Herdwatch. As always, Herdwatch sponsor all our cattle videos. So as we're letting these cattle out, we'll be recording any missing tags they have so we can get them ordered, get them next time they're in the shoot. We'll also be putting them into a batch. So a batch is based on where they're going, so we'll know every animal that's in the batch and how many cattle are in each batch. And also recording our medicines. So there's 3 things we'll be doing there. The cattle have already been out last week. We weighed them and we blacklegged them all the wet days. There wasn't much else going on. And we'll talk about weights later on. We'll get stuck into this now.
Leave your troubles here. No time to drift. Just persevere. No radio or tiny screen. So many ways we hide unseen. Let go your pain, seek mystery. Consider love, consider me, and raise your voices. Before the mast, around Cape Horn, round storms and wells, a brutal sea, enchanted land, sea legs and stars help guide us past. Remember joy, let go of fear, lose the hatred, don't despair, and raise your voices.
Just finished 30 bulls ready to go, and we just have some of our biggest bulls here in the corner. 6702, 6812. They're both lads over 300 kilos. I think he was 350. We've had the best weights of our bulls going out. Now we are a month later than we'd normally be weighed our bulls for going out, because we're a month behind because we finished off the rape. And we have all the silage in the pit nearly. We're working off daily weight gains to see what the improvement has been on last year. And the best daily weight gain I remember when we weighed them was 0.88, which is considerably better. Probably double the average on last year. But at the end of the video we'll sit down at the computer and we'll open up Herdwatch and we'll figure out what was last year's average, what was this year's average. But we think the forage rape, the gorilla rape and the red clover has done a superb job on these lads. And yes, we do have a lot of horns here, and that is just from, if anyone watched from last year, our calves didn't go very well last year and we didn't dehorn them because we were afraid it was going to further upset an already bad situation. So we have quite a few horns here, a little bit of ringworm. They aren't over clean. It's just when they're in and out of the shed, it's just impossible. It's good to get them out now, get them out onto grass and let them clean up themselves. But they do seem quite happy there. But anyways, it's time to get the trailer on, get them out, and later on this evening we'll sit down and we'll figure out how much better this year's weanlings done to last year's. So we just have first load on. I think we've 21 in it, and we'll have 9 more then to go to where these batch are going. But the next batch after that's going to the other side of the road from them, so we'll bring up one in the front, one in the back. I don't know how we'll get into the field we want to go with the next ones, because it is quite soft. The unfortunate thing at the minute with the weather, things are quite soft. We do actually have cattle out at the minute. We have 30 of the smallest out of that shed, and the ramblers as we call them, the renegades, another name for them. They're out on our own bottoms, so we put all our lightest cattle on our own bottoms, because historically every time we weigh cattle, the cattle on the bottoms does best, so we're putting our lightest there in the hope that they'll do the best daily weight gains and catch up with the bigger guys. And then these 2 batches of 30 are then the rest of them. We're not picking the biggest or the smallest round, they're just the next 30 coming out up here. We also have all our bullocks are out and all our heifers are out, so there's 30 something heifers out, and there's also the same on bullocks also gone out. So we are shifting them out of the yard now. This kind of the last frontier is to get our weanlings out, and once they're out we'll work at that. We'll have whatever's left. We'll put these 2 batches of 30, and then whatever's left in the shed, then we've organised where I've had to come to take off a few horns just for the sake of having a few less to have to deal with. It's not a big issue, but having a few without just leaves things a little bit simpler. And on this year's calves, Liv is dehorning away. I think she's 40 tons, so she's a third of the way there. into getting this year's calves dehorned. So we're flying it that way, so hopefully it won't be an issue next. We'll be on, we'll get these lads out to grass and they'll be happy out. Oh, that's them out. So part of getting slurry out real early this year, as I said when we were getting it out nights at night time with myself, by myself and the tanker, we have lovely lush grass everywhere we need to go. There's plenty of grass for them. Get ourselves folded up now, we'll put back up the wires, we'll go get the rest to go out here. They'll be happy out. So they're starting off on about 4 acres. So that should keep them going for a couple of days, and then we're on to paddock rotations. Clean up, we're well happy, but they do have a nice bit of condition on them as it is. I have to admit now, we're very happy with how the forage rape and red clover. Oh, Jesus! I was going to get hit in the face there. Fed. Then this got broken off. Go get the others. We'll be happy out now. Happy to see grass at last. So, just letting out the 9 that we left behind to make 30 here, and then we have 10 in the front of the trailer to go to the next spot. But the problem we have is we have to drive across one of our silage fields. Not a big silage field, but just drive across the silage field. It's going to be a bit wet, so get those lads have it. And now, that's them 30. Happy out there. Now we see, can we get across the field to let these out into the next spot we fenced earlier today. I think that went not too bad. Little bit of a track there, but nothing major. So this is a half load, so I don't know how we got on with the full load, but we'll let these guys out anyways. That's the first of this batch put together. We'll go back and get the rest. A little bit of damage just in the gap there, but other than that we travelled fine with the full load. So it is now time to let these 20 out to see grass, and then that is all of the cattle out for this round. And then what's left, we'll wait till all the hay's eaten up fodder fill once the hay all gone, because it's been there this last 4 years. And we just have to keep moving around the place, right? So it's just time to get that gone. So a good clean out of forage, and we get these guys out on the grass. Lads, there's more come out. He's like, you're tricking me. And that's them out. So anyways, we'll be back to the yard. More jobs to be done, but once we get that haul done, and at some point, maybe probably not this evening, but some of the evenings we'll sit down, we'll look at how this year's yearlings, weanlings, whatever, bulls, whatever you want to call them, done for the first winter in the shed compared to last winter, last year's ones over there first winter, to see how much of a difference did the red clover and gorilla rape make to the daily weight gains, because we have some big weights there, and I would think that it made a big difference, because just I'll say it now, we had I think 6 bulls this year that were fit to go for under 16-month bull beef if we wanted to. They were at the minimum weight for doing that job is around 340 kilos. So when they're a year old, if they're 340 kilos, averaging you do 1.5 kilos a day in 120 days before they're 16 months old, you'll get them into 520 kilo carcasses. So that's the first time we've ever had springborn animals to hit them targets, and we had 6 of them. So we weren't going to do it this year because we're kind of out of a lot of fodder, or we wouldn't have the fodder to feed 6 or just on that, and we would have to buy in meal to feed them because our own ration would be too risky to try and achieve that daily weight gain. And at that's a minimum daily weight gain you need. But yeah, we had, and that's the first time we've done it with autumn-born calves. Autumn-born calves always tend to be stronger, but spring-borns just not as much. But we had 6 this year, so next year, if we have a good few or a few, we might try some under 16-month bulls and not let them out. But anyways, time to bail on back to the yard, and we'll pick it up when we're in sitting at the computer looking at how our daily weight gains have done for. It's the next day, it's the morning, and I just got me stuff done last night a bit late, so I said I'd leave it till morning time to do. I have my information here in front of me, average daily weight gains and all of that of the cattle. And again, I just used Herdwatch there, print off the report, sent it to Excel, and then I was able to pull what I want off of. And I know Herdwatch are working on fully replacing what I do with the database. I have that, you just do reports with them and then you get everything you need that I have. It's something that they're working on and should have done quite soon, so that'll definitely take a lot of work over. Looking at last year's average daily weight gain of all the cattle, the average was very, very poor, 0.23. Yeah, I didn't realize it was as bad. With an average weight of 185 kilos coming out of the shed. The heaviest to come out of the shed last year was 265 kilos at weigh-in. When were the weighs? Anywhere from the 28th, 14th of February, 4th of March, anywhere around then. That's how they done. And average daily weight gain and weights, yeah, shite. But that's generally what we always have. We've always seemed to have very poor weights of our cattle in the first year in the shed. But if we go to this year's cattle that we lay out there in this video, their average daily weight gain of the average was 0.48, which still isn't great. It's probably still poor, but it's a big improvement on last year because it's more than double. It's 0.25, 250 grams more a day than what last year's done. But we had quite a few, 6 or that, done over a kilo a day, which that's where we want. A kilo a day is the target. To get that average up near that target is our goal. But we have like lots, like just reading off this here, 0.76, 0.15, 0.6, 0.71, 0.78, 0.61, 0.65, 0.69. You know, there's a lot of heavy, and I just filtered through the list there, and we have 15 cattle out of how many there is in this that were under last year's average. I think they were the ones that are really pulling down. They're the light renegade lads that are off down the bottoms outside most of the winter. And our maximum weight here was 355 kilos. Average was 219. So 34 kilos heavier, and the weigh-in dates actually weren't that much in the difference now, because there was cattle was weighed February. All the lads that were out were weighed in February, and then the rest of the cattle were all weighed the 16th of March, which there's only 2 weeks there between some of them on the last one and this one, so there's a good improvement there. Main thing is our average daily weight gain is up, and the next thing we're going to do, try and get that average daily weight gain up, is make better silage. We're going to be making 3 cuts of silage this year, going for short leafy grass, make real rocket fuel stuff to see can we get that up. But definitely the gorilla rape and the red clover has improved it. Never had cattle that heavy coming out of the shed. Cattle that heavy coming out of the shed could, with the age they are, they're hitting the minimum weight that you could keep them in the shed and feed the hell out of them and get them gone before 16 months. But for us to do that, we'd have to start buying meal, and we're not just set up for that. Next year, if we have a few, I might see whether we'll do it or not, because we've done under 16 month bulls, done it in August born calves, autumn born calves, but never in spring born. So anyways, now it's time to go out to the workshop and announce the winner of the competition and see who has won all the mega tool bundle from Midwest Electrical. So it is Thursday, the week hasn't been long coming round, and we have our mega tool bundle here. We had a huge response. Big thanks to everyone who responded to the competition, left their comments, left their likes, and entered through Gleam. We had 1107, I think, Gleam entries, which is where it was being run, so it just makes it easier for us to automatically pick a winner at random. And the winner is Stephen Murray. So we have your email address and we'll get in touch with you, and then we can verify. Then if you want to make sure that you have the right person, you can email me. You can send me a message through Instagram or Facebook if you want to just double check, because we did have an issue with a scam running on the last competition. There was people leaving a comment reply under people's comments saying head to Telegram and follow this and you can win yourself the toolkit. So just again, please be very careful. If you ever see a reply under your comment that's telling you go to Telegram, it's a scam. I don't use Telegram, nothing got to do with it. But yeah, just be careful of scams people are trying to run. We try and keep them deleted and blocked as best we can, but it's still very hard to keep on top of them. Anyway, big congratulations to Stephen on winning the whole kit. So we'll be in touch with you and then we'll send this out to you. And we'll see how we got on. We may try and run another competition next month. And on the 1200, I was hoping Thursday's video was going to be a bit of a workshop thing, but what would I say? They've encountered another pothole.
Well, there's lots of them.
So yeah, we'll fill you in on that when we get recording again on the 1200. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments down below. And that is it for me. Good luck.